G'day. With Alpine's launch of their 2023 car, that sees all 10 teams having launched their cars for this season. Across the board, there were just subtle changes to each of the cars, and in a second I'm going to tell you what I thought of each car and where I ranked it from 1 to 10, so let's see if my thoughts matched yours. I'm going to start with number 10, what I thought was the least impressive car, but I must say that I thought all of them were impressive. But there were some that were very impressive and some least impressive. And my number 10 is the AMR 23, the Aston Martin. Now in the studio, this looks shiny, sexy, glorious, but like last year's car and the ones before it, they do look rather dull on track. Now I'm a photographer, so I'm going to be looking at this with a slightly different viewpoint to you, but on track, they can look a bit dull in low light. I like this. I thought this was a nice touch. The wider mirrors stood out to me. In fact, all of the cars will be having wider mirrors this year. It's a safety move. I watched that launch live and I thought Rachel Brooks was exceptional doing the telecast. Well done, Rach. Succinct, interesting questions and very smooth on screen. At number 9, the VF23 from Haas. Now this is in second last spot, but you know what? I like the livery. I think if I was MoneyGram, their major sponsor, I'd be pretty darn happy with the exposure they're going to get this year. Reportedly, they've paid $20 million a year for 3 years to get their name big on the car. And they've even managed to get their logo incorporated into the Haas logo here, as you can see on Instagram, and in other various spots that I've discovered. Oh, and what's the go here with the rabbit? Well, it's actually a hare. Hare in Dutch is Haas. We're now up to number 8, and I've picked the FW45 from Williams. Another shiny offering that has a beer producer, Michelob Ultra at the front. Stevens is a private bank. You'll see Corsa Lens, an AI company. Now, interestingly, Williams is owned by Doralton Capital, and they've taken a sizable chunk of that company, which I'm gathering is why it appears on the car. Oh, and one other thing, the Williams has the best branding deal ever with Duracell. I love the way they've incorporated the battery design at the top of the car here. The C43 from Alfa Romeo comes in at number 7. You've probably already noticed that Orlen has disappeared. Orlen was a very big sponsor of Robert Kubica, but they have gone this year. Where? I'll tell you that in a couple of seconds' time. Maybe you know already. The Alfa's gone a little bit darker than last year, and Stake, their new major sponsor, even has their name incorporated into the team. But Stake? What do? Well, it's a gambling platform essentially. And if you look through the comments, a lot of people are very unhappy about that company coming on board with Alfa Romeo. They say it's a bad company. I know nothing about it, but I did read those comments with much interest. But I want to focus your attention on this launch video that Alfa Romeo posted.
Hi everyone, it's Valtteri Bottas.
This is Zhou Guanyu.
And we would like to welcome Stake to join our Formula 1 team.
We're really excited to go racing with Stake this year.
And of course to see all of you at racetracks around the world.
Stay tuned to see our new car livery on 7th of February.
And thank you for the support, as always.
This would have to be the worst sponsor welcome video I have ever seen. Unfortunately, both of these drivers look stilted and almost look like they've been pushed into doing it, and some of the comments have been absolutely hilarious. Blink twice if you're in danger. Are their hands tied behind their backs? How did this edit make the cut? And why didn't somebody help Zhou?
Stay tuned to see our new car livery on 7th of February.
That's not his fault. Who was directing this one? And while I'm sure Stake's pretty happy with the exposure they've got on the car, a lot of people are saying, look, if you're allowing gambling, why not bring cigarette advertising back? And I don't think we want that. At number 6, I've gone with the AT04, the Alpha Tauri for 2023. And with Alfa Romeo losing Orlen, Alpha Tauri's picked up that sponsor, and Orlen must be pretty darn happy with the way their logo scrubs up on the car. It's the only red on the car. It stands out a mile. It's also on the driver's suits and really sparkles there too. I did notice that the big bull is a much larger logo on this year's car than last. I like the cleaner nose. I think if I was a sponsor, I'd be happy with that. And if you look closely, you'll see the colours of the Italian flag feature on this new Alpha Tauri. Yuki Tsunoda and Nick De Vries will be very keen to get into this car and see how it performs at testing in Bahrain when we get underway on April 23. No, it's not April 23, it's bloody February 23. That's the first half of the field. Now we're up at the business end of things, and I've picked Mercedes as number 5 with the W14. Now, you might think that's a little bit harsh. I know why they've gone. I think we all know why they've gone with that black colour. It's to save about 6 pounds of paint on the car. But to me, you get that in overcast conditions at the track, and I think this car is not going to look very good. The thing I find most refreshing about this design, though, is the numbers are different colours on both cars. You've got George here with the green and yellow for Lewis. Lewis also has the car with the fluoro yellow T-cam, so that matches in nicely. Then you've got this nice colour that complements the driver's number on the car at various spots around the car, and I thought that was a nice design element. A couple of other things, the stars still remain on this design, although they are fewer in number than last year. And I like this splash of red around the air intake. And have a look at this, G42 next to the driver's heads. It turns out that is an AI company. Now, last year we were having crypto companies everywhere. Of course, a few of those have gone by the wayside, but this year, lots of AI companies are sponsoring cars in F1. Artificial intelligence. It's going to be big this coming year, and I think I might even delve into the AI realm with some pretty innovative content later in the year. Fingers crossed that it works out. Oh, and we also had the first look at Mick Schumacher in black. Of course, he is the reserve driver for Mercedes, but is also the reserve driver for Williams and McLaren. At number 4, I've gone with the A523, the Alpine. The A523 looks similar to the A522, and for the first 3 races this year, which will be Bahrain, Jeddah and Australia, we'll be seeing the pink livery running around. After that, it changes back to this normal blue and pink livery. And interesting to see that Zinedine Zidane is going to be an ambassador for the team in 2023. Oh, and I'm going to remind you too that you can still pick up a hand-signed and numbered print by Pierre Gasly at kimillman.com. You go and pick your favourite number from the available stock. 3 teams to go, and I've picked the RB19 of Red Bull in at position 3. Essentially, there's very little difference to this car from last year. It'll still be great to photograph because there's plenty of contrast. In terms of the launch, though, a lot of you said it was just a lengthy affair, too much chat, should have got to the point a little bit earlier. Of course, we had the Ford announcement there that they're coming on board as the engine supplier for Red Bull. And of course, we still have the Honda logo sitting here on the car at present. And I looked up this one, Player 0.0. That's Heineken's gaming platform. Obviously looking to get the younger market excited about non-alcoholic beer. And like Alfa Romeo, Red Bull too has embraced the gambling sphere, with PokerStars making an appearance here on the halo. 2 cars left, a Ferrari and a McLaren. So what did I go with as the second, leaving the other one as the first, my favourite? I've picked Ferrari as my second favourite. Yes, that means McLaren is my number 1. But let's talk about the Ferrari. I thought it was without a doubt the best launch of the lot. And I think there'd be very few of you who would disagree. They had a grandstand full of people. They actually had the car on track, which was a rare treat. The drivers were having a bit of fun. And Ferrari here is the only team, as far as I can tell, and I've looked very closely at all the images. Of course, I haven't yet seen the cars, but I'll see them very shortly in Bahrain. But you can see here that both of the drivers' names will be underneath the T-cam in white. Not so big, but certainly legible. And the other thing I liked was, like the Alfa Tauri, the Italian flag colours are on this car as they are on the shirts of the Ferrari team. So why did I pick the McLaren as my favourite? Well, I think photographically, with that papaya, it just pops. It is the complete opposite of the Mercedes. And granted, the MCL 60 has a little bit less blue than last year's car, but with 2 young, talented drivers ready to get behind the wheel, I think they're going to have an interesting season this year. In general, I think the cars will be darker this year than last year, and in sunny climates that will make a little difference, perhaps photographically and on television. But I just know that come dark, overcast days, rainy days even, the dark cars are just going to look not quite as good as the light, bright ones. Thanks for sticking around to the end. Now I'd ask for one favour, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so, and join as a member. And on March 4, one lucky member will win this signed Sergio Perez print. I'll send this to almost anywhere in the world, so get online. All you have to do is be a member. I'll pick one of those members on the Saturday before the first race of the year To take home this print, you'll find all of my digital images at prostarpics.com for F1 photo books, wall art, merchandise, and signed prints from drivers and even team principals like Gunther Steiner. Head to kimillman.com. And for my best images live from the track and all during the week, go to Instagram and search at Kim Illman. Thanks for watching and stay passionate. And stay passionate. And stay passionate. Snap.